Question. What's the brokest you've ever found yourself? I'm sure we've all had to put things on credit cards. I'm sure we've all had to take loans with family members and friends if they're nice enough to give us that second and third loan after we didn't pay that first one. I was so broke once upon a time. I remember I was in a Burger King and there were two kids. They looked like they were about 10 or 11 years old. One of them opened up their wallet and they brought out like a 20 to buy their buddy a burger. And I was thinking to myself, I've only got like $7 on me. And that was literally all that I had at the time. And it was a miserable time. If you've ever been there, you know what I'm saying. Tonight, we're going to watch videos of people that are questioning how people are even surviving because they're living paycheck to paycheck.
Come shopping with us as people who can absolutely not afford to go shopping right now and have to put this all on a credit card. But between her birthday party eating up our grocery budget from last month and me not getting paid yet, we are at $0. I usually
Wow.
make all the baby food from scratch, but I have been down bad with an illness this week, so we had to get some snacks for her. I think it's gross how they can have moldy berries on the shelf, but I ended up finding a good pack of raspberries because I feel bad that all the snacks I got are a process. Then I started working on things we need for dinners and a couple other random stuff. I'm gonna make this bomb chicken Alfredo. And before you're like,
Nice.
oh my gosh, she's grabbing so many potatoes. Poor person hack, potatoes can stretch any meal. Mix it in your eggs, your ground beef, your chicken, stew, whatever, it makes it hearty. Then we're
That's
going to be a
true.
little healthy and get some salads with this coupon. Try to get some more veggies in our diet because you can see most of this is like not good food. Up to this point, I feel like we got nothing and it was over $100, which made me so sad because I usually use the app and really plan ahead. So I never spend over $100 on groceries, but my husband gaslighted me into thinking it'd be cheaper to actually go to the store.
So I don't know if you guys are noticing this, but as she's putting away her
We're so
food,
lucky because we're currently a household of 7, so
as she's putting away her food, she's putting it into a fridge that is just loaded with food and a pantry that's loaded with food. If there's one way I'll actually understand a young family kind of going paycheck to paycheck, it's where they at least have food in their house. You know what I mean? Because you can always choose to stay in and watch TV and eat the food that's in your house. No matter how expensive it might be from the grocery store, it's still going to beat the price of going out to eat. At least they're spending it on food. It didn't look like they were spending it on booze or anything.
And I am recording this because I know it will be better. So I really wanted to cave and buy the DJI Osmo Pocket 3.
Okay, so this woman wants a damn camera and she's crying. Meanwhile, the previous mom is down to $0 because she's buying food. There's a difference.
I've just really been wanting to like up my content. I've just been really wanting the DJI, but obviously the only way that I can afford it is if I do payment plans. And I didn't want to go behind, my boyfriend's back because I really want to respect like obviously like my own money situation, but like stuff like this also affects him. Wanted to be open and ask him like, what do you think I should do? Obviously I gave him the reasons why I wanted the camera. And obviously like I don't have fucking $1,000, so affirm it, which is how I got into like this whole mess of like being in debt in the first place. It's sad, but at the end of the day, like he's putting me in check, like of where I need to be.
If you guys know what a Affirmit is, I'm taking it that it's some sort of like payment plan. I notice everything that you buy now, you can chop it up into two, three, four payments. She seems like the type that really wants this camera. My thinking is, why not save 10, $20 a paycheck for 2 or 3 months and then just purchase the camera? What do you guys think? Wait, they don't have 10, 20, $30. Then they don't have a camera, do they?
What's the brokest you've ever been?
That's what I'm saying.
The brokest I ever been. Listen up for the story time. So I was working, right? I just had my daughter and I could not afford damn near anything. Okay. So one day I was at work. I had this Coach pocketbook. I will never forget it. And Plato's Closet is a place that will take your items and give you money for them. Okay. So I want to say I was down and out, like had to be rock bottom. So I emptied my pocketbook on my lunch break, took the pocketbook into Plato's closet. They gave me nothing for the pocketbook, might I say,
Ouch.
okay? Because they didn't want it. It was a Coach bag. It was real, but they didn't want it, okay? And then no, they said it was too mature for their audience or something like that at the time. I was so broke. I had nothing to my name that I emptied out everything that was in my pocketbook and took the full pocketbook up to Plato's closet to see if I can get some money for it.
I've had family members that because they wanted to go to the casino, they would go to the pawn shop and literally pawn really expensive jewelry and then end up leaving it there and losing it to the pawn people. It's like, holy moly, all of that just to go to the casino and lose more money. It's really an addiction, that gambling.
Hey guys, come spend the day with me as a girl who works every day for a living.
Aw, when you work most of the time, but you're still broke. That's what's so weird. They say that people are living kind of a BS lifestyle because we're all broke, but a lot of people are spending a lot of money on credit cards. But I don't even know if I believe that. I think there's just a lot of money or a lot of people that have a lot of money that they can just buy a lot of bullshit. Whereas a lot of us, just for whatever reason, we don't have that lot of money. Now, some of us have saved up some money, but we know it was so challenging to get to where we are that we kind of Scrooge McDuck it and we don't necessarily want to spend any of it from this point on. You have to get that reward of starting to save something and then you start to realize, oh, this is possible because at first it seems impossible.
Is anyone else sick and tired of always feeling like you're living paycheck to paycheck and always being broke no matter how much you feel like you're cutting back or like budgeting for your groceries or your gas or whatever your extra spending? And it doesn't matter how much money you make because you always feel like if you make more money, you spend more money, which is probably true. But then you're just in this vicious cycle and you're like, wow, when is it ever going to end? It has to end. This economy's going to get better, right? And then boom, it doesn't.
It's never gonna end. And you know what she said there that makes so much sense? You cut back, and at the end of the month or the end of the year, you still don't have any extra money. And the reason why is because your cable bill goes up 15 bucks a year for God knows why. Your utilities and stuff goes up 3 or 4 bucks a month for God knows why. Everything goes up constantly to the point where even when you cut back, you can never notice a difference. It's really depressing.
Y'all gonna hate me for this, but I don't care because y'all really think you're living paycheck to paycheck.
Prove to me
So,
you're not.
if you
We're
can
not.
afford to go on a vacation once at a minimum a year, you're not living paycheck to paycheck. If you can afford to put money into your 401k, your HYSA, whatso have it, you're not living paycheck to paycheck. If you can afford to have multiple vehicles, 2 or more, totaling a sum of $1,200 or more in a monthly time frame, you're not living paycheck to paycheck.
He's really right. If you're literally spending all the excess money you have and that's how you're paycheck to paycheck, I feel like that's different than somebody that's literally short on their rent and they're literally living paycheck to paycheck. There's such a big difference. I agree with this guy.
Now, there's a lot of people on this app and in this world who are saying paycheck to paycheck basically means that at the end of the month, you have nothing left after you brought in some income. And here's the problem that I have with this. Let's say I'm bringing in $500,000 net a year every single year, and I'm spending $500,000 a net a year every single year. But my spending is covering more than just my basic necessities. I'm taking vacations. I'm traveling the world. I'm hiring nannies to watch the kids. Guess what? What's going to hit harder for you? Here's the scenario. You have a doctor bringing in that type of money saying that they're living paycheck to paycheck because at the end of the month they have nothing left. And you have a single parent raising their kid. They can't afford to pay utilities on the 1st. They have to wait until the 15th because in order to put food into their house, into their mouths, they can't cover everything at once. And they're both telling you that they're living paycheck to paycheck.
What he says is true. If you're legit poor and you're eating ramen noodles and you're having a hard time deciding if you should even put the air conditioning on in your apartment because you're that broke, It must infuriate you to hear about people going on their second vacation of the year and oh, they were only able to save 150 bucks this month, right? And they've got like all these nice clothes and they go to the latest movies and they buy the latest toys and gadgets. That shit is infuriating. Quit telling people you're living to paycheck to paycheck. You have a spending problem. You're not paycheck to paycheck. I agree with him.
So I wonder how many folks that thought that Donald Trump was a joke. Oh, I like Trump. He funny. I fucks with him because we need something out the box. We need something different. And some of those folks are the same folks that are receiving assistance of some sort. And now it's about to be gone. You literally have Republicans that will not in the Senate that will not pass this bill because they think it doesn't cut enough. The majority of the cuts is what American people need. It's what they need to survive. And yet you have Republicans that are saying they're not going to pass the bill for all the bullshit that's in there. No, they're not going to pass it because they actually want more cuts. But y'all keep thinking this is funny because it ain't going to be funny once you lose your health care. It's not going to be funny when you no longer have food stamps to support yourself and your family. It's not going to be funny when you can no longer claim your children as a dependent if they're over the age of 7, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Is some of that made up? I have a feeling some of that's made up. And if it is true, let us know your thoughts down below.
Talk to me, y'all. You got the rent, the light bill, the gas bill. You may have a car note. Got to put gas in the car. You have to keep the maintenance on the car. You
True.
may have children that are in school or in sports. You do work 40 hours a week, but by the time they snatch the taxes out, you have just enough to cover your bills. Your next paycheck is already accounted for because it's going to the same bills. How are y'all maintaining?
Credit cards.
How are you maintaining your sanity? And I know we in the era where we want to show everybody that we have it like that, but I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all. I ain't got it like that. You work a job where they don't, some people, now this, I know a lot of people, they'll work overtime. My job doesn't offer overtime. And by the time I get off, everything else is closed in my area.
I feel like 20, 30 years ago, people could just ask their boss if they could get overtime, and their boss a lot of times would say, "Yeah, no problem." Nowadays, most people are lucky if they can even get 30 hours, because if you don't get 30 hours, a lot of these states don't even have to have the employer offer you insurance and stuff. How do you live on 27, 28 hours a week?
Life is very expensive. And I remember like years ago where like minimum wage was like $10, $12 an hour and we were living. Why is it that every single thing is expensive now? How are y'all maintaining? How are y'all doing it?
How are you? Some of you guys are actually successful. You find a way to spend less money than you make, and you find a way to save more and more money each year, and you find a way to invest in stuff. If you are that super good guy or gal with money, let us know down below. Let us know your secret. Let us know how you started. I always tell people, why don't you just start by collecting $20 bills? See how many $20 bills you can collect this year. You know, if I tell you to collect shoes or watches or memorabilia or this, that, and the other, you'll find a way to spend thousands of dollars on that shit. Why don't you start a $20 bill collection and then at the end of the year, come back to this video and tell me how many $20 bills you saved. If you do it, I promise it'll change your life. That's the way I did it. If you guys want to change my life, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button. Come again tomorrow. We'll watch some more videos together. Have a good night.